Buddy, how's it going? Today, finally the day, I'm going to install the Zooks Welding HST filter guards on my tractor. If you haven't watched my other video, the reason I'm putting these on is when I had, I don't know, it was right before the 50-hour oil change, 45 hours, somewhere in there. I ripped off the HST filter and the filter bracket, I believe they call it a housing, underneath the left floorboard of my L3901. Could it happen again? Probably. It wasn't that hard the first time. I was pushing over a tree. I thought I had the root ball and the grapple. I was ripping up the roots, pulled over, backed up, popped it off. So tractor was stuck on the field overnight. Luckily my Kubota dealer got me the parts the next day, and I was talking to Robert, who owns Zooks Welding, about it, and he goes, well, I could probably come up with some filter guards. He has an L2501. We bought our tractors pretty close together, and so he welded up some prototypes, and then I bought a set, and I'm going to put them on the tractor today. I'm going to show you how easy the install is and what they look like. So here they are. I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to talk about these real quick. And here they are. These come in a pack. These are the HST filter guards from Zooks Welding. So this one is a little backwards, but we'll turn this way. This one goes under the left floorboard, and that one goes under the right floorboard. So let's take a look at these real quick. The welds on these, if you can see down there, are very nice welds. Both sides, from what I've noticed, are welded and made out of some pretty thick plate. I don't know what this is, I didn't measure it. And he even goes to the length. These are truck bed lined, so you could paint over them if you wanted to, but installation should be pretty easy. This hole uses one of the bolts on the floor. You pull that out, put this under, tighten that up, and then there's a bolt that slides through here through an existing thing. All the hardware is included in these. This one over here, same thing. Floorboard bolt goes through there, and then there's a bracket that hangs underneath the tractor that you just have to drill one small hole. So here's the tools I think I'm going to need. At the end of the video I'll tell you what I did, what I didn't use. But power drill to drill one small hole, and he even that's also, that bolt, the green one, is also included. But I got drill bit, pair of vice grips just to hold this while I drill it. I got 7/8 to remove the bolts in the floor. 7/8. I got a 7/8 socket. I don't know which one's going to work better. I also have a 7/16 socket and a wrench, and that should do it. But these are built very well, pretty heavy duty. I know shipping on these is kind of pricey, but very nice. And now he's got a CNC, a plasma table on order. He's supposed to be getting that soon, and I can only imagine what he's going to be making with that. But get out of the shadow here. These are very nice, very high quality, good welds on them, heavy duty plate. And let's get under the tractor and get these installed. I'm going to be doing the I'll do the left side first. That's the side I have the most experience with. Been under there a little bit fixing some parts. All right, this is the left side of the Kubota L3901. If you're sitting on it, as you can see, this is the side with the step, and all you have to do is, there's a 7/8 bolt there with a, let's get down under here, 7/8 nut. Get out of the way right there. We're just going to loosen that up, mount the bracket right to that. So let's get that step done. Alright, so before we get started, let's get an angle from down here. You're going to remove this 7/8 nut. Filter guard is going to slide over, and the back of the filter guard is going to hook right to this hole in the frame. Moved off. And just a reminder, using a 7/8 wrench and a 7/8 socket. And let's get this off of here. It's going to be pretty hard to break that loose. Once you get that lock washer broke off, you'll be just fine. So you got a washer, you got a nut, and a lock washer. All right, now that we got the nut, the washer and stuff off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the washer back on because it goes up against that bracket. We are going to slide this over. We're going to put the lock nut back on, and we're going to put the nut back on. All right, we'll tighten that up here in a minute. So let's move back here now. Let me get you back here on this back angle of what's going on. So I moved the camera back. It's right next to the left rear tire now. So just a reminder, on the front, we put that big washer back on. We slid the filter guard over top. We used the existing lock washer and nut. So now, as you can see, here's these 2 finger brackets. There's a hole on each side, and there's an existing hole in the frame right here. So what we're gonna do is push this up. Wow, that was easy. Straight through. And I'll give you a close up here in a minute. Go ahead and put this lock nut on here. Another thing to remember, guys, I'm on flat land here, so I have the pallet fork stuck in the ground, the parking brake is on, the tractor's sitting here. If I was on any type of incline, make sure you chalk these tires. We don't want to have any accidents. So I'm gonna grab my wrench and my 7/16" socket, and we are going to, actually I don't need this extension. Didn't know for sure if I would or not. And let's get this tightened up a wee bit. All right, that is snug. Go a little bit more here just to make sure. All right, and now what we gotta do, I'll bring it to the top side of the tractor, or I'll leave it right there. I'm going to tighten this up, and we should be good to go on this one. So switch back to my 7/8 socket and my 7/8 wrench here. That nice and snug. And just like that, the left side is done. All right, everybody, if you can see, we're on the right side of the tractor. There's a loader valve. And with that loader valve being in the way, you do have some extra things to work around here, but it's still not going to be an issue. And let me get under here. You are still going to use that nut in the front part of the bracket. On the back side of the bracket, you do have to drill a small hole because there's nothing here to hold to. But right here in this flat piece, we'll take a pair of vice grips and then we'll drop a tiny screw through there just to mostly give it a little bit of support. Most of your support is from the front of the bracket with that big 7/8 nut. So no welding involved, just drill a small hole. You're not going to hit anything here. This is already just a guard for your brake pedals. So you can pull that down here. Just moving the brake pedals there. So this is an existing guard, and there's nothing behind it there. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this, we'll get the front one in, and then we'll use a pair of vice grips, hold it tight, and we'll drill a small hole. All right, guys, we are now under the right front wheel of the tractor. If you're sitting on it looking back, obviously here's the right rear tire. So same thing, we're going to use our 7/8 wrench and socket. We're going to pull this off. We're going to leave the washer on there. Now here you got your brake pedals here. As you can see, this is already cut out for it a little bit. So just make sure you slide up underneath your brake pedals and leave the big washer, and we'll put this back on. if your tractor sits out or is an older tractor, these may be hard to break loose. This tractor's 5 months old and it's got 100 hours on it almost, just shy of 100 hours, and it sits inside all the time. So it shouldn't be too hard to break this loose. Just know if it is a little worn on there, your best tool might be a small impact to get that off. And then just make sure you don't mess up any of these. I don't think you will. I mean, they're hanging on the bottom of the tractor, but just always be careful anytime you're on hydraulic hoses. So like I said, this one shouldn't be that hard to get off, but we will see. Actually, it wasn't bad. The other one on the other side was a little tighter. Alright, we'll take that off. Remember, leave the big washer on. It's going to fall off, but make sure you put it back on. Alright, let's get underneath the tractor here. And what we are going to do, big washer back on. Then make sure you kind of wiggle this over, pull it back, and then you're going to probably have to push the nut back down from the top, or the bolt went up a little bit. There we go. Get that back down. Yeah, when I pushed it up, I still had the socket on the top, but the bolt pushed up. So I'm going to hold this up here. We're going to put the lock washer and the nut on. And I know you can't see it right now. Oh, you can still see a little bit right there. So lock washer, nut, get that finger tight, and we're going to go back here and drill the back hole. But yep, still plenty of clearance once it's tight. You're not hitting anything with your pedals. And we got that nut back on. I guess you guys could see that. So let's what we're going to do now is this tab here. We're going to hold it up there with a pair of vice grips. We're going to drill a tiny hole, and then we are done with the assembly on this. So let me move the camera a little up towards this, or at least zoom in so you guys can see what's going on there. All right, guys, as you can see, this is pretty centered. It's hard to see on there from the angle, but he's got this design where this piece is actually welded on here, goes in pretty far, halfway, comes out. You can see it's pretty sturdy now. This is just gonna give you a little bit of support in the back. So line it up in the middle. It actually comes out the filter by about a ½ inch. Protects that over here, which is nice. But what we're gonna do now, we'll take a pair of vice grips. Probably should have brought some different ones from the house, but I guess that'll work. We're just gonna hold this down here, get it where you like it. And we are going to drill a small hole. And there's nothing behind this, because over here about at the end of this bar is where your brakes start. So we're just going to drill a small hole right here next to the end of these vice grips. Make sure I wasn't going to shoot right up through my vice grips there, but we're good. Almost through. Perfect. All right, so that's probably a 1/4 inch bracket that you're on the tractor. This is a little thinner. So let me grab all the hardware is included. I know I probably said that earlier, but this one just has a washer, top and bottom, and a lock washer, or a lock nut, excuse me. So I'm going to put mine in this way, that way I don't have any more hanging out the bottom than I need. Alright, got my socket, my wrench, so we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. So I don't hit myself in the face. Sorry for the lighting, I just noticed it looks like the sun kind of cleared the trees there a little bit. Get this a little more snug. And we are good. Alright, stop the camera. Let's get out here and I'll show you a look. Actually, while I'm down here, let me flip the camera around here. So, that's the filter guard on the left side that we installed. Let's see how that mounts. Right up in there. And up in the front. And then this side, same thing. Up in the front. Then on that little hole we just drilled. Alright guys, it's that simple. I think I need to go trim my beard. Installation took about 30-35 minutes. Yours should go quicker. The longest part of this was moving the camera around, making sure I had good camera angles for you guys. So I told you guys from the get-go, I'm completely honest. I paid for these with my own money. If I find anything I don't like, I'll let you know. This isn't a big deal. I'm gonna let Robert know. Maybe we can make an adjustment to this. But let me pan. Now maybe mine's just bent in a little different, and it's not gonna rub because this doesn't move, but it is touching the filter right there. So I'm gonna take a piece of old garden hose and set that in there. That's not a deal breaker for me. And I know he is getting, he's kind of refining the design as it goes. So maybe that'll be something else. But I haven't heard of anybody else having that issue. And I don't think it would wear out. But I'll still put something in there just to kind of block that there. It's just barely touching it. And this part doesn't move, so we'll be good. But I am happy with those. And this one's nice because you don't have to take the filter off or you don't have to take the guard off, I should say, to do the filter. On the other side, I believe you will. But that's not a big issue for me. I already did my 50-hour service over a month ago. Almost 2 months, 2 months ago now. So, all right. Only tool changes. You probably don't need these extensions. And I did go in the garage and change to a bigger ratchet on that 7/8. But that's about it, guys. Power drill, 1/4-inch drill bit, and we are good to go. So, let me get some tools picked up here, and let me give you guys the final thoughts on this. All right, guys, I'm about to get into the final overview of these. Sneak peek though, I get a lot of comments on my videos about this brush guard. This was made also by Zooks Welding. This was the first one he made, and then he made one for his own 2501. When it folds forward, the metal goes all the way down at the bottom, and I keep a hammer in there at all times, and there's a chain in there, not right now, but usually a chain in there. I got a lot of comments on this thing. As you can see, it's got a couple dents and scratches in it. It does get used, and it has protected the front of my tractor. The only problem with those, you cannot buy one right now. But I'm on vacation next week, be hanging out at our county fair, and I have an announcement to make about those brush guards. I would like to kind of talk to Robert. He doesn't know about it yet. I'd like to talk to Robert, and I would like the chance for someone to get one of those brush guards. He doesn't make them right now because he's just busy with other things, but I get a lot of questions about my brush guard. So follow for next week. I'm gonna do a video, and we're gonna try and work something out where one of my subscribers can get one of those brush guards. But back to the Zooks Welding HST filter guards. Real quick, I'm just gonna wrap this up. Number one, The craftsmanship on them is great. The materials are good, and they come already truck bed lined material, which is good because I want to truck bed line my floorboards, my tractor. They just get rough and wore out, and I'm on and off that thing nonstop. Number 2, installation. Stupid easy. You're using 2 bolts that are already there in your floorboards. On the other side, you're using existing holes already in the underneath the bottom of the floorboard, the subframe. Bolt slides right through. You only got to drill 1 tiny hole, and it's not affecting anything because it's already a guard from the factory. So drill a 1/4-inch hole and drop that nut and bolt in there. You're good to go. Third thing, and this is where I'm going to talk for a little bit, is pricing. I believe he sells these for $200 a set. So you're getting $100 for each guard. Some guys are like, man, that's outrageous. These are just comments I personally read on Facebook. Guys are like, oh, that's crazy because for $250, if I bust it, I can just take it to the dealer and file a KTAC claim. Yeah, you're right, you can. I have busted a filter off. It's not fun. Go check out one of my other videos. I believe that was Oops, I Broke My Kubota. I'm careful with my tractor. It does get used hard. And I was had the Wicked 55 on, was clearing some trees, backed up, didn't get all of a tree I thought I did, and the trunk popped off my filter, sheared off the bracket that the filter screws onto. I had to get a bracket. I had to get a new HST filter on that side. I had to get O-rings. And from the time it happened, I heard it. I looked down. By the time it registered in my head and I killed the key, I went through about a gallon of UDT2 just pumping out the side of my tractor. Luckily, no harm to the tractor. But that's, as you can tell, that's over a $100 bill to fix that. That happened at 45 hours. It happened before my 50-hour oil change. As you can see where we live, these are a must-have. I went to Robert and I was telling him about my tractor, and he bought a 2501 right after me, and I think that was the ding in his head to start making these filter guards. Number 1, I wanted the set, and number 2, for his own tractor. But my tractor was down for 24 hours. I had to call the dealership, had to get those. They had the parts, but I couldn't get them before work. So I had to go up the next day, get the parts, come back, fix it while it was stuck out here in a field. It was a little wet out. Even if I would have had, I do have KTAC on my insurance. Even if I would have made a KTAC claim, how am I going to get it out of the wet field all the way up here to the dealer? The dealer is probably going to have it a few days before I get it back. I use this tractor every day. This is almost a lifeline on this farm. It gets used for everything. Like I said, it's 5 months old, almost 100 hours. So it's getting used at least a little bit every day. The pricing for $200 for these, for a peace of mind alone, is worth it. Let alone if I would have broke the right side where all the where some of the loader valve stuff connects to, I can't imagine what that would cost. That would have been a KTAC claim. But you guys, for the price of these, and it boggles my mind. And I've read these posts, I've read these comments myself. You know, the same guys that don't want to spend $200 on HST filter guards, but you know, like me, I have brush hog, I have grapple, I have pallet forks, I have land plane, I have plows, I have discs, I have everything for my tractor. When you add how much money you spend on that stuff, what's $200 on these? You know, I believe they're $200 and you pay the shipping. So that's just kind of my last rant on those. You guys, it's a must-have for me, and I'm glad they're on there. I'm going to put them to the test. If I find anything I don't like about them in the future, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Even though Robert's a friend, I did pay for these. So I want you guys to spend your hard-earned money wise and not buy junk. But I can tell you right now, these are not junk. So, video I did yesterday, real quick. I said that there was going to be news about Zooks Welding. So, if you guys are interested in his HST filter guards, if you haven't checked out his bucket level indicator, check out his bucket level indicator. Let me go show you real quick on these. I never had a bucket level indicator on any of my tractors before. This tractor, as you can see, I use pallet forks non-stop. I move a ton of these IBC totes around for everything. Yeah, I got a boo-boo, that's getting painted. So, his bucket level indicator uses an existing pin. goes up, clears all your hoses. See, not touching hoses. Comes with all the bracket, the eye bolt, and then you just put tape on it wherever you want. The black is my bucket. I never use those. When this is between the yellow, I know my pallet forks are level at exactly 2 inches above the ground. Perfect for going into these pallets. I can't believe he sells these bucket level indicators as cheap as he does, but he does. So, I talked to Robert. If you guys are interested in his HST filter guards and you're interested in a bucket level indicator, he's making them for quite a few different loaders now. Maybe even different brands, I'm not sure. I know he's advertising it for some of the smaller Kubota tractors now, and people have been asking him about them for the larger Kubota tractors. So I saved you guys 10%. All you have to do, subscribe to my channel. When you order from Robert from Zooks Welding, all you have to mention is Pheasant Lane Farm. He's gonna knock 10% off your order. But the stipulation is it's for the filters and the bucket level indicator, not one or the other. So if you buy those as a set, HST filters, bucket level indicator, you buy it as a kit, mention Pheasant Lane Farm when you order, it's gonna knock 10% off. And that's a great deal because I think these are already priced extremely fair. So that's all I have to say about that. If I wasn't doing it with the camera, I could have installed both of those, probably 10 minutes aside, 20 minutes. So have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you guys watching me. And Zooks Welding, I keep wanting to say Zooks Custom Welding because to me he's a custom shop, but Zooks Welding, amazing stuff, amazing guy, great family, pretty awesome kids too. So all right guys, I'm gonna get ready for work, gotta go make that money. So I will talk to you guys later. As always, thanks for watching. Be safe, have fun, and if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. Thanks guys.